Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2026. Believe it or not, there are about 25 movies that I'm excited to see this year for varying reasons. My picks range from huge franchises, bold reimaginings, unexpected passion projects, and some genuinely risky creative swings. These aren't just movies that I think are going to be big, but movies that I'm personally counting the days down for. Before we get into my top 10, let's start with a few honorable mentions. The Stolen Child is a movie that I'm not entirely sure is going to release this year. It's a dark folklore fantasy movie that is just my kind of movie. If I knew for certain this movie would release this year, it would probably take my number 2 spot on this list. I don't know much about it other than the visuals are completely breathtaking and it's being worked on by Sebastian McKinnon, an exceptional Magic the Gathering artist. A teaser was released last year and I'm hoping beyond hope they can squeeze a release out this year. Avengers Doomsday is another one of my honorable mentions. Yeah, I'm aware the MCU has lost a lot of its glamour. For the most part, I've been able to stay roughly caught up with phases 4 and 5, so I still have some sort of attachment to the franchise. I know it probably won't return to form, but I'm interested in seeing what direction Doomsday takes the franchise. I want to see how mutants get incorporated and if this movie is a softer, hard reset of the MCU. Truthfully, I'm hoping this movie is used to kill off a lot of the lackluster characters that were introduced. So I am cautiously waiting with anticipation. After years of being shelved for tax write-off purposes, Coyote vs. Acme is finally scheduled to release this August. Given how much I enjoyed last year's The Day the Earth Blew Up, a Looney Tunes movie, and how much I love Looney Tunes back in action, I am excited for this live-action animated legal comedy. I'm ready to kick back, laugh, and enjoy the nostalgia of my childhood. Warner Bros. Owning some of the biggest IPs of all time and doing absolutely nothing with them has been the bane of my existence. But no more. I genuinely hope they get bought out by Paramount and not Netflix. When I see what Netflix has done to The Witcher and how many of their movies feel written by AI, I get scared to think about what they would do to DC, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, The Lord of the Rings, and more. Anyways, my final honorable mention is Supergirl. I surprisingly like James Gunn's Superman a lot more than I expected. Seeing the trailer for Supergirl, this movie looks reminiscent of Guardians of the Galaxy, one of my favorite MCU movies. I think James Gunn excels at writing team-up movies, and that is the vibe I get from this trailer. I think Millie Alcock will do a great job, and I'm excited to see Jason Momoa as Lobo. Just as importantly, I'm interested in seeing how this movie ultimately fits into the greater DCU vision. Alright, starting off my list for the top 10 movies that I am excited for is Scary Movie 6. I know that's an outlandish thing to say, but hear me out. I miss spoof movies. We just don't get them anymore. The early Scary Movie films were dumb, outrageous, and perfectly of their time. Horror has evolved so much since then. I want to see a movie that makes fun of elevated horror, A24 vibes, and trauma-driven storytelling. I'm excited for this to just be fun, ridiculous, and self-aware again. The Wayans brothers produced some of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and I'm excited for more of that. Wuthering Heights is one of those movies where I am going in completely fresh. I haven't read the book and I haven't seen any previous adaptations. Everything I know about Wuthering Heights comes from the trailer, and honestly, the trailer alone sold me. What really excites me here is the cast and the fact that this is a period piece. The mood, the costumes, the bleak landscapes, it just looks like the kind of atmospheric and emotionally heavy drama that I tend to gravitate towards. I'm excited to see what Jacob Elordi and Margot Robbie offer. We don't get many big-budget movies that take place around the time of the American Revolution. While not specifically centered on that war, but rather the French and Indian War, I'm excited to see young Washington. I'm excited for a more human look at George Washington before his fight against the British. If this movie focuses on doubt, ambition, and leadership under pressure, it could be a really powerful historical drama. Just as importantly, I'm very interested in seeing the birth of American values as we know them today: individualism, freedom, and opportunity. Clayface might be one of the most interesting DC projects in years. The idea of Clayface as a superhero body horror movie is genuinely exciting. While I doubt it would be rated R, that would be incredible. Clayface is such a tragic, disturbing, and psychologically broken character. He's not just a monster to punch. Honestly, all Batman villains have crazy depth. So, like Supergirl, I'm interested in seeing what James Gunn is able to put together here, especially if the film leans into horror and body transformation themes. If this movie has the same emotional heaviness as Joker, but with a body horror element, it's going to get 2 thumbs up from me. I really love the Super Mario Bros. Movie, so naturally I am excited to see the sequel. Galaxy gives Illumination a chance to kick things up. Think bigger scale, more imagination, and more emotional weight. The Super Mario Galaxy games are visually stunning and surprisingly heartfelt, and that cosmic dreamlike energy could translate beautifully to animation. I'm incredibly excited to watch this film and be bombarded with Easter eggs after Easter eggs after Easter eggs. If this film expands creativity while keeping the fun intact, this could easily top the first movie as the best video game film adaptation of all time. The Chronicles of Narnia, The Magician's Nephew is personal for me. I read all of C.S. Lewis's works in the 3rd grade, but surprisingly none of that has stuck with me. However, growing up with the Narnia trilogy from the 2000s and watching those movies every weekend, my love for fantasy was solidified. Not just that, I have a lot of nostalgia for that trilogy, and I think those movies don't get enough love. So what excites me about The Magician's Nephew is the chance to return to the world and see it reimagined for a new generation. I don't remember the story, so I'm looking forward to going in without any expectations from the books. If this captures even a fraction of the magic, warmth, and adventure I remember from those original films, I will be happy. The Sony Marvel Spider-Man movies are far from being cinematic achievements. However, they are incredibly fun, and Tom Holland has me fully sold on this role. I'm excited for a new chapter, a reset, and a hopefully more grounded story. Spider-Man works best when it's personal, emotional, and consequence-driven. If this focuses on Peter as a character instead of multiverse chaos, then I'm fully on board. That's what sold me on Spider-Man Homecoming, a focus on Peter navigating life. Also, I'm very interested in seeing which character Sadie Sink plays. I'm fully tuned into the leaks and the hype for this movie, and that kind of amps up my excitement. This is one of the few Marvel movies that I don't think will leave me disappointed. At this point, Dune has fully earned my trust. I enjoyed the first film, but I wasn't fully sucked into the world. And then Dune Part 2 came out, and I was completely blown away. Denis Villeneuve is easily one of my favorite directors working today. Everything he puts out is so well crafted. The acting by Timothée Chalamet sold me in Part 2. With how the second film ended, I'm incredibly excited to see how Paul Atreides enacts his galaxy-spanning jihad. I'm excited to see how Anya Taylor-Joy fits into the story. I'm excited to see how Zendaya's Shani falls into place. Having never read the books, these movies make me want to pick up the novels. I'm excited for a story that's aiming to get darker, heavier, and more morally complex. Christopher Nolan is the #1 reason I'm so excited to watch The Odyssey. Nolan is one of the most talented directors working today. Even if I don't fully connect with every single choice he makes, I'm fully locked in. He takes big swings and treats audiences seriously, and he makes movies that feel like events. The idea of him tackling one of the oldest and most influential stories ever told just feels right. What excites me most is imagining how Nolan approaches the material, epic journeys, obsession, time, endurance, fate, all themes he's explored before, but now filtered through mythology. I'm expecting massive scale, practical filmmaking, and an interpretation that feels grounded and human, rather than overly fantastical. This feels like the kind of project where Nolan can fully flex as a storyteller, and that's why it's sitting so high on my list. Werewulf is easily my most anticipated movie of 2026. Robert Eggers is my favorite director of all time, and every movie he's made has completely enthralled me. The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman, Nosferatu, they all put you into a specific place, time, and mindset, and they don't let go. His films feel immersive, uncomfortable, and deeply intentional. That's why Werewolf feels like a perfect match. A werewolf story told through Eggers' lens immediately makes me think of folklore, superstition, isolation, and psychological unraveling. This won't just be a monster movie, but something tragic and unsettling. If anyone can make a werewolf movie feel terrifying again, grounded in myth, fear, and humanity, it's him. I'm expecting something atmospheric, brutal, slow burning, and honestly, even if this movie is divisive, I already know it's going to be fascinating. I know I'm glazing this movie and Eggers up, but I'm genuinely so grateful that I'm alive at the same time as him. I can't wait to see this movie and all of his future releases in theaters. Thank you for listening to me ramble about my top 10 most anticipated movies of the year. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the video, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.